Hey everyone, I'm Jody Bader.
And I'm Sarah Martinez. We're Project Glad consultants and trainers from Washington State. Welcome to this short video tutorial on using a Project Glad strategy online. As you watch, feel free to reach out and connect with us or get some more tips from our website. You'll see the link below, nextstepsprojectglad.com. Enjoy.
Hey everybody, let's go over another idea for being able to do a synchronous process grid game with your students, and it still involves a slide deck. You can use whichever one you want, PowerPoint or Keynote or Google Slides, they all work fine. And we're going to keep this really simple. Even though I love that game board that I showed you in the last tutorial, we're just going to go super simple, and we're simply going to screen share our slide and type into it as the students are giving you the information when you're playing the process grid game. So let me go ahead and share my screen. So it's pretty straightforward. As you're screen sharing and playing the game with the students, you can go ahead and type right into your cells of your process grid. Now, in order to get the view that you're currently seeing, which is a side-by-side mode where my thumbnail is right next to the process grid or whatever image that you want to screen share, the students need to be able to set that up for themselves, and somebody needs to be screen sharing with them in order to do that. So let me go ahead and switch over to the student view to show you how to get that set up with them. So now I'm in the role as a student, and I am viewing what the teacher is screen sharing to me. Now, only at this time when someone is screen sharing am I going to get this bar at the top that has a drop down for view options. I want to make sure that side-by-side mode is checked. If it's not checked, then you're going to see it in regular gallery view. So let's go ahead and check side-by-side mode. The other cool feature that you can share with your students is if you hover between the two panels, you're going to be able to, or they will be able to change the size of the teacher's thumbnail versus what the teacher is sharing. The other setting to take into account is assigning students or pre-assigning them into breakout rooms. Let's cover that if you've never done it before. As you're setting up and scheduling a meeting, after you fill in all the pertinent information, scroll down toward the bottom in the meeting options part and make sure that the breakout room pre-assigned is clicked. You can either create a room or import a CSV. Let's go ahead and do that first. A CSV is a spreadsheet that you have pre-created with the team name and which students you are assigning to the team. Now, this is completely made up. These are fake students with fake email addresses, so it's actually not going to let me import them, but I'm just doing this to kind of show you where to click and drag. So the pop-up window would come up. You would drag your CSV file that you've pre-created in there, and it's trying to verify the email addresses of my participants. They're fake email addresses, so it's not going to be able to do that, but it would come up and populate that. So let's now talk about how to create rooms manually yourself. I'm going to go to the check mark, rename that breakout room. So in GLAD, we're going to have our team colors, our team names. And then I'm going to add participants to that lower box. Of course, again, they're fake, so it's not going to actually populate, but that's where you would put them. Might put in my blue team, green team, purple team, and you would then continue on adding your students. Here are the teams that we have pre-created, and they would be populated with students' names underneath them if we had been able to do that. You can also manually assign a student to a name. Since I'm the only person in the meeting, I'll assign myself, and that's what it would look like. I can move students to different teams if I want to. And then when you're ready, you're going to open the rooms when it's time for the students to talk about a certain part of the process grid. Now, once you're in the meeting with the students, before you send them off to breakout rooms, their first step is going to be to rename themselves. To do that, they would just go up to their name in the participants list, and in the drop-down box, they're going to hit rename. We talked about that predictable pattern that you want to make sure that you use so that you can see the team and the number that they are. So if I was from the red team, I would be red Jody, and then whatever my number would be, let's say red Jody 4. Hit rename, and now it's going to show up in the participants list as my new name. If the teacher sees there are 2 number 1s in a team, in the regular classroom, we would have students put heads back together to continue negotiating their number. But in this case, the teacher will rename them herself so everyone can move on. So that's our idea for a screen share with a synchronous process grid using breakout rooms in side-by-side mode. Thanks for watching.